shit, don't you miss the day we could shun creators and tell them to fuck off? I mean, I remember there was a time where people were taking sponsor deals and they were getting run off this fucking platform for daring to take money from outside influence. I mean, shit, we got people that are profiting off of people's deaths now. Do you think that's funny? I mean, let's face facts. Something's fucked up right now and it ain't being talked about. And that is how fucking stupid the creators are. You got fucking idiots going left and right to talk about how dare Michael McCrudden profit off the people's deaths? How dare he talk about people who have died? It's almost like he hasn't done this for years. And much like any respected news network in the world, I don't see a problem with it. They're talking about somebody's death. They're reporting on their story. Who the fuck is you to say that people can't do this? Now don't get me wrong, I don't like McCrudden. I think he's a scumbag, but he's been doing this and I think he does it very appropriately.
Now, he was definitely a profound artist, and when speaking about him, I would describe him or put him in the same box as Tupac, Elvis, and Kurt Cobain. Sadly, these are other legendary artists who we lost too young. I mean, the man was only 20, so please leave your condolences in the comments down below.
But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm here to talk about something even worse that we apparently have running rampant on YouTube now. And that is the trifecta. No, I'm more upset and pissed off that McCrudden had the audacity to promote smoking to his very young and underage audience. 'Cause I'm gonna tell you something. The smoking companies want you to smoke. No, instead we're gonna talk about McCrudden taking what is the sponsorship. Because apparently we have no more moral ethics on YouTube and we can just promote smoking to kids. But it's actually vape pens! They screamed into the void. Vaping, cigarettes, nootropics, CBD oil, doesn't matter. The point is you're promoting the lifestyle. You're promoting the being cool factor to smoking, which is what increases the rate of smoking. And I'm sorry, I don't care about him reporting on X's death. I don't care a fuck about that. I think that him promoting to children the cool lifestyle of smoking is entirely more damning than anything else. I mean, am I the only one who can really recognize that this should be what terminates his channel, not reporting on the death of people? Which I personally think, by the way, he does respectfully. And for those of you who might not know what Michael McCrudden's all about, well, we're going to talk about his little famous tactic, his tool that really pulled him up to that YouTube fame. Oh wait, he's not really that famous. We'll talk about that later. But that little trick he does, which is something I've always mentioned about for a decade at this point, which is his inability to make things accurate. You'll hear this all the time in YouTubers' videos and content creators. They're talking about all the time how he constantly makes mistakes, fucks things up, or mistakes people for different people, or maybe misreports on things. And that's a common tactic. It's a trick he uses to get people to respond to the videos, to make response videos, to maybe draw more attention, and then he gets to upload a correction video. And that was one of the biggest tactics he's used to grow his channel. And people are like pissed off about him reporting on somebody dying. I mean, what we have here is a fucking serial mindset of make mistakes to generate views without ever actually being interesting. Like, as much as people might say, like, he's got 2.5 million subscribers, he's actually not famous. He's actually a relative nobody. I mean, let's visit this Twitter. I mean, 16,000 followers on Twitter. Now, I know I'm not the shining example to talk about Twitter numbers, but we're going to do a little bit of analysis and say 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube to 16,000 followers on Twitter. I think McCrudden's falling for what's known as the top 10 effect. That's when nobody gives a fuck who you are. They just care about watching videos with little factoids. So I feel like that's what generates my personal opinion on McCrudden reporting on people's deaths, is that nobody cares about who McCrudden is. Now, if somebody like Keem, who has a completely personality-driven story, which, like, yeah, granted, he's doing drama alert, and he's trying to present the facts, but you're really watching for Keem as well. Like, we would be pissed off when Keem's trying to profit off of somebody's death. Like, but McCrudden's so unpersonable, like, unlikable on his own channel that nobody really gives a fuck. I'm like, could you just imagine the minute that Adam22 decided to monetize off of X's death? Like, we would run No Jumper right off of this platform because that's fucked up. But I'm giving people like McCrudden a pass here because the reality is that nobody gives a shit. He's just doing what he's professionally been doing for a long time. And everyone's going to be pissed off and say, oh, that's the whole reason we're pissed off. Where's the outrage over the smoking? And then while we're on top of the outrage right now, what about this crap right here? Like, we're getting there. We're completing the trifecta. We got McCrudden doing the smoking. We got iJustine doing the gambling. We got T. Martin and Syndicate doing the gambling. Wait, we're missing something in the trifecta. This cat is going through chemotherapy. It is so difficult to deal with. I'm worried every day. But thanks to Kraken Rum, it's made it so much easier to deal with the pain. See, if you didn't know this, that's called manipulation. Taking the narrative of whatever bullshit story, although granted true, to drive your sales of a product, which is a completely morally unethic thing. Where's the outrage? I'm almost at the point of demanding from YouTube that some sort of action be taken, because it is ridiculous that this is the type of promotion that could be allowed on the platform without age restriction and with full monetization. Who the fuck decided that? I'm like, in full disclosure, I have no problem with smoking, gambling, or drinking. But here's the thing, you can't promote that to people who aren't like of age. There's a reason that FTC and marketing rules exist in the United States. You can't promote these things to young, vulnerable audiences and demographics. And yet there's no outrage. There's nobody freaking out over this. And I'm just thankful that somebody, aka Net Nobody, actually realized this and made a fucking comment about it, because nobody else is. I mean, we have people promoting crap out the wazoo these days, and I'm like, nobody seems to be stopping and smelling the, as Cabos would say, bullshit. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still scumbaggy that Michael McCrudden made 3 videos on X dying. Like, that is an unprecedented amount. I mean, we all get burned out when we hear nothing but Jake Paul, Logan Paul news. I'm like, we're getting burned out on Michael McCrudden getting ripped on for making these videos on X, but here's the thing, like, the amount of bullshit and outrage he's getting on his X videos, like, XXXTentacion, I had no interest in, but using his death to profit smoking. Somebody raise your hand if you realize that this is fucked up. Now, the T. Martin and Pro Syndicate situation was a completely different thing, and that was they weren't telling their fans that, like, they owned the site that was a gambling website. But here's the thing, like, Michael McCrudden engineered that ad to be as interesting as possible to a very impressionable demographic.
When tragic news hits, people handle it in all sorts of different ways. I know when I heard the news of X's passing, I was tempted to step outside and light up a good old-fashioned cigarette. That's right, your boy McCrudden is a smoker, or at least I used to be. I've since found a new alternative through my collaboration with and it's allowed me to find a better aromatherapeutic way to not only deal with stress, but to relax and, you know, enjoy myself from time to time. Now, they also have strong ties to the rap and hip-hop community, with co-signs from the like of DJ Khaled, Amber Rose, Young M.A., and XXXTentacion's fellow 2017 freshman class list member, P&B Rock.
Do you not understand how insanely effective this is what smoking marketers want you to do? Like, they want you to take something, design it a specific way so that it evokes that emotional response, and then hook somebody in as a lifelong client to your product. I'm like, my cat has cancer, and you saw that little drinking advert. That's probably a really convincing way to get somebody to be emotionally responsive to my ad. Now, if you're an adult, this practically doesn't even apply to you. I'm like, make your own decisions. You can be an adult and do whatever you want, but even still, I'm like, to take emotional manipulative marketing is not okay. It really needs to be taken control of. I'm like, we need to police our own platform, and the fact that this is just slipping through the cracks now has left me infuriated. Now, the problem is I don't know what to do about this. I really don't think we have any possible solution short of actually just reporting and flagging the videos, because they are against the terms of service on YouTube. I'm like, as stupid as it might sound, it's like, the video is not age restricted. so it's open to minors. And when you can't just openly promote smoking to minors. And I think, as much as I don't want this to be the case, I think Michael McCrudden really does need to take some sort of action on his platform for basically promoting. I think iJustine should have to take some sort of repercussion for promoting gambling. And I'm like, yeah, there's laws, there's obviously things in place, and you know, you can argue that, well, these are ads that are designed specifically for people who can partake in that. Well, here's the thing, their demographics aren't that. You don't go to Nickelodeon and start trying to sell booze ads to them, because that's not morally ethical, and then on top of that, I'm pretty sure that's not illegal. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, because I'm SOL on ideas right now, because there's going to be no action, there's going to be no recourse. People are going to keep talking about McCrudden and the bullshit about him, but it's like, where's the line? Now, if you have any opinions or comments you want to leave down below, I really would appreciate that, because I have no idea how to take care of this problem. I have no idea how we can actually get a result from this. I mean, you can argue that Cardi B and DJ Khaled are promoting this stuff too, but here's the thing, is like, they're under a lot more scrutiny. They have a lot more legal team behind them. They take care of their legalities, but the problem is that they know they can't promote to these types of demographics and audiences, but somehow these YouTubers are just kind of getting the free pass right now because it's under the radar. And I'm like, I don't want that to be the case. I love and respect this platform. I think it will flourish, and I think it will become more powerful than television, which, by the way, if you're one of those people who thinks that we need television to thrive, you are fucking stupid. But the one thing I refuse to do is start taking the moral low ground to make a quick buck. I think these people need to be held to standards higher than anybody else, and I think them taking these really dangerous advertisements is just leading us down a wormhole that's going to prove the mainstream media correct when eventually they run the hit piece for the 400th time trying to say YouTubers are taking gambling ads. What are you going to do to protect your children? Like, we don't need that anymore. We don't need to give the mainstream media like an excuse to attack us anymore. We can attack them back. They have no reason to fight us, because they're the ones that are suffering. They're the ones that are taking the viewership dips. They're the ones that are going to eventually be run out because they can't adapt to the times. Don't give them the fuel to fight us, who are the new revolutionaries in content creation. Now guys, if any of you are creators, I don't care how big or how small you are, you want to talk with me, hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are usually practically open. If you want to have me on a podcast, you guys want to talk, I am down to talk with absolutely anybody. I don't care how big or how small you are. Just hit me up with a tweet or send me a DM or leave a comment down below. I will make an exception. I will make the time to have a conversation with you. Again, I don't care what it is, but you guys can hit me up. I want to continue this discussion in a different platform. I just think I'm done and I've said all I need to say here. I love you all very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Is Boogie the one who says that?